Police just arrived at an airport parking lot to investigate reports of an abandoned truck. Initially, it seemed like just another routine call with nothing unusual, but that's when it hit them.
That smells. I think it smells like decomp. It smells something.
Inside the truck lay 4 brutalized and dismembered bodies hidden inside boxes. What officers didn't know at the time is that 11 more bodies lay buried and hidden in remote areas of the state. An active, twisted serial killer was on the loose, and detectives were already months behind.
Remember the last time you saw him? Let's go. We don't care about anything else other than finding Matt, Jennifer, and Justin. Whoever did that is our focus.
Right, we tied everything together yesterday when he did that. You know what I mean? Like, I know he lost them 3, man. I know he did.
Taking these other 11, and you take them all to the same place? If you ever came back out to New Mexico, would you be willing to take us?
It started on a Sunday afternoon when police in Grants, New Mexico received a mysterious call. A landlord had just discovered something he described as disturbing while cleaning out an evicted tenant's home. Officers immediately headed to the address to investigate.
This guy hasn't paid us since July, but with COVID going on, we couldn't evict him, so we've had nothing but problems with him. Anyways, we finally got him to move out. So I've seen him today. We haven't come by. We haven't messed with him. Hopefully not kick his ass, you know. When I came by, he says, "I'm going to leave you a pile to throw." Well, we didn't know which pile, so we started to load it up. While we were moving some things, and we found this puppy in this box underneath some of the kid stuff, you know.
Okay.
So we go to put the puppy in the bag because we were going to bury it. And then we see that they had tied a cord on its neck.
Okay.
Well, we've had, like I said, nothing but problems with these guys. So I at least want to put a report on file. I know we won't be able to say who did it and when, but that needs to be associated with him, you know, because we're going to take him to court for a lot of other things. And if I can just have that on file, it'll help.
Okay.
It was clear the puppy had suffered a horrific death. Animal control arrived shortly afterwards and confirmed it had been deliberately tortured, noting a cord tied tightly around its neck. The cruelty of the scene was deeply unsettling, and the officer immediately recognized they were dealing with someone truly twisted.
Yeah, it's just straight up.
Absolutely.
That's just sad. That right there just really got to me. It's like sad because that's not cool at all.
No. Absolutely. Cruel, awful people.
Yeah, he tried to get in. My landlord, he tried to go into the house. They went in, they painted everything their own colors, and they just ruined everything.
Unfortunately for investigators, the puppy was just the first body. And in the coming days, police would uncover more gruesome scenes, strange disappearances, and disturbing evidence pointing to something far more calculated than anyone expected. That same day, Detective Robert Turney was assigned a missing persons case involving 19-year-old Matthew Miller. Matthew's grandmother had called 911 a couple of days earlier, worried because she hadn't seen or heard from him in nearly a week. It turned out police were already familiar with Matthew and knew he had previously struggled with substance abuse. So initially they assumed his disappearance was drug-related. Maybe he overdosed somewhere. But Matthew's family insisted something was different this time and urgently requested to speak with detectives. Trusting their instincts, Detective Turney decided to visit Matthew's grandmother, where he would discover some unsettling new possibilities.
You guys can help me out by just calling around to hospitals, clinics, rehabilitation places, other county jails, and just see if he's there. So prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Okay. But I will tell you, I had more than enough to arrest Matthew several times. and he's not one of those people that I wanted to arrest. You know, Matthew is not going to pull a gun on anybody, right? To get his drugs.
Yeah.
He's not that kind of person.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's my main.
And he probably has a little bit of a complex because he knows
Yeah.
he's that kind of person. And so he's going to be real hesitant to reach out and tell you guys the actual truth about this person took advantage of me.
Yeah, no, he
You know what I'm saying? So just forgive him. All you can do is tell him you love him and you forgive him and go from there.
After rehashing some information with Matthew's family, Detective Turney would go on to learn some critical details. Matthew's girlfriend told the family she saw him getting into a vehicle with several other people, including a blonde woman named Jennifer Lannon, someone Matthew had recently been spending time with. He also learned that Matthew often spent time with a close friend named Justin Mata and his girlfriend, Leonie Calzada. All three were known to use drugs together. Acting quickly on these promising new leads, police began searching locations Matthew was known to frequent, and soon enough, they located Matthew's Chevy Colorado truck parked and seemingly abandoned within a few blocks away from Leonie and Justin's residence. The truck was dirty, locked, and appeared to have been parked there for several days. Inside, detectives found clothing and personal belongings, as well as several unsettling items including a pair of rubber gloves and a shovel lying in the truck's bed. They also found multiple cell phones that were damaged in the front and back seats. It seemed clear Matthew hadn't intended to leave the truck there, and detectives sensed something wasn't right. Immediately, investigators canvassed the area and found surveillance cameras nearby, one of which captured Matthew's truck arriving at Leonie and Justin's address on January 26th, just 3 days before Matthew was reported missing. With these new alarming discoveries, Detective Turney knew the next logical step was to urgently speak with Matthew's friends, Justin Mata and Leonie Calzada, hoping they could shed some light on the situation. However, when they arrived at the couple's residence, they would quickly realize Matthew wasn't the only one missing.
No, just you? You sure? Okay, if I come in? Hey, guys.
Hey, Johnny.
My name's Robert.
He's gone. He's gone.
He gone?
Yes.
Hey, buddy. Okay.
This is Leonie Calzada, the girlfriend of Matthew's close friend, Justin Mata, and someone detectives suspected might know exactly what happened to Matthew.
It's very, very important. We're looking for Matthew Miller. He's been missing for over 2 weeks. When was the last time he was here?
Maybe a year ago?
A year ago.
When I first got this place, yeah. When I first got it, last January.
He hasn't been here since then.
I know it very long.
What if I got a video of his vehicle?
Maybe he's definitely touching here, man.
Correct. When was the last time you saw him here?
When he was in the place, once to bring over, I first got this place.
A year ago? You think Justin would have,
He would have, yeah, probably.
when you weren't here?
I wouldn't realize. Because they said all that, yeah. But he left on 17th and then came back. And that's
17th, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, and then I went to talk to the guy in Kingman. He's like, yeah, they left each other there during the night and they're in Arizona.
Do you have any kind of way to contact Justin? You have a phone number?
No, he left him, what? Him took off.
What's his phone number?
Yeah.
Email,
He took-
Facebook?
He took my phone, it's not working. Took my phone, yeah. Took a wife, everybody.
When's the last time you had any kind of communication with
That's
Justin?
when he's there to go by Cokes and I'm go by Cokes and then come back.
What I would like to do, all right, is look around your house for any kind of evidence of Matthew Miller, any kind of foul play. I'm not looking for anything other than that.
According to Leonie, her boyfriend, Justin, had also mysteriously vanished, and she hadn't seen him since January 17th, nearly 2 weeks before Matthew was even reported missing. But investigators knew something wasn't adding up when Leonie insisted she hadn't seen Matthew in nearly a year. Surveillance footage clearly showed Matthew's truck outside her residence just days before he disappeared. With their suspicion mounting, detectives decided to search Leonie's home, hoping to uncover whether she might be hiding something. Or someone.
Did you notice anything strange that happened around here? Did you notice anything different around here? Like, there was any kind of blood? needles? About needles or fentanyl pills or anything like that?
Yeah, I think he's using, I'm not sure though. That's like the lights.
Yeah. Yeah. There's already. That's easy. They only sign one person dead in a trunk per year. That's my max.
Despite their best efforts, investigators found no signs of foul play or violence. Still, Detective Turney couldn't shake the feeling that something was overlooked, so he returned to speak briefly with Leone, unaware she'd drop a crucial clue.
Arizona.
Been planning.
The 17th of.
Oh, January. He left this in his mind.
Leone revealed that Justin had recently taken off with another woman named Jennifer, supposedly heading to Arizona to re-up on drugs and make some money. With this new detail, Detective Turney now found himself investigating the disappearances of 3 different people: Matthew Miller, Justin Mata, and now, potentially, Jennifer. Not yet aware just how closely connected these cases really were. So to move forward, Turney quickly looked into Jennifer and discovered she had recently been reported missing by her ex-husband, Sean Lannon. That name sounded familiar to Detective Turney, because just days earlier, officers had responded to a disturbing call at 817 Kingman Avenue, the same property where the remains of a tortured puppy had been uncovered, and the tenants evicted from that very house, Sean and Jennifer Lannon. Finally, investigators were starting to connect the dots. 3 people, all closely linked through drugs and personal relationships, had vanished within days of each other. Detective Turney realized it was time to canvass the neighborhood surrounding Sean and Jennifer's former home, hoping a neighbor might have seen something suspicious or could offer the lead they desperately needed. That's when they found a neighbor whose security camera was pointed directly at Sean and Jennifer's old residence, and what the investigators saw on the footage would finally bring some much-needed clarity to their case. Without this neighbor's camera, detectives might have hit another frustrating dead end, and it shows just how important reliable security can be, because when something happens, every second matters. On January 26th, Matthew is seen entering Sean's home, but investigators never see him leave. Hours later, Sean is spotted on camera driving away in Matthew's truck, and when he returns, he's alone, on foot, and Matthew is nowhere to be seen. 2 days later, on January 28th, the same camera recorded someone loading household items into a red Dodge Dakota parked outside the residence and driving away. This CCTV footage marked a critical turning point for investigators. For the first time, detectives had visual proof of Matthew at Jennifer and Sean's residence. With this significant new lead, the next step was clear. Detective Turney needed to speak directly to Sean. Only his account could clarify what happened that day and potentially reveal crucial details about the missing trio. The next morning, Detective Turney reached out to Sean and agreed to sit down for a formal interview. Whatever Sean said next had the potential to shift the direction of this case completely.
So, first things first, let's get her into this messing. Okay? Have you ever seen Matthew Miller? You know what I'm talking about? Is he over at your house? It's been police. I read a piece that's definitely before the 3rd. Was his truck ever parked at your house for more than like a day, overnight? Not sure. Have you ever driven his truck? Yeah. I've driven his truck. When was the last time you drove his truck? A couple weeks ago. A couple weeks ago? So, again, when did you find out that they split and took off to Arizona, ran away together, whatever?
It was 7 weeks ago. I came back.
Did you have anything to do with Jennifer's disappearance, Matthew's disappearance?
I don't think so.
Do you think something bad happened to Matthew and Jennifer?
I know Jennifer drug insurance used to be. She came back with more bills. can imagine, like, she let those.
Man, it's just I just get a really, really bad feeling about all this. You don't.
I do.
You don't seem.
I've been living in the circle for a minute.
Has she ever done this before?
Yeah.
During the interview, Detective Turney notices something strange. Sean remains unnervingly calm, especially considering his ex-wife and the mother of his 3 young children has just vanished. Turney begins to question whether Sean is simply a bystander caught up in a tragic situation or if he knows more than he's letting on. The next day, Detective Turney would get his answer, as police received an unexpected call from a man named Josh Hall. Josh was an acquaintance of Matthew Miller and claimed he'd recently witnessed something that deeply concerned him, directly related to the strange disappearances. Investigators quickly arranged for a meeting with Josh, hoping his account would finally provide the breakthrough they were looking for.
Hey, man, what's going on with Matthew, man? That's my chick's cousin. Check this out, man. Check this out.
That's all me.
Check this out, man. Yesterday, right, that Kelly's, right, Sean told me to go talk to you. And I guess he had to go talk to you or something. Talk to cops. He goes to Kelly's in the garage, stashes the bag in the ceiling. Gun, jacked his wife's IDs, some clothes, some other everything. Just stashes it there. Says he had to go talk to the cops. It's there. There. Sean killed all 3 of them motherfuckers, man. I'm telling you, he murked all 3 of them people, man. He's putting it off on Martha that he ran off and everything. Why in the I don't know, man. Kelly's like my sister. I know all it, you know. Killed all 3. I know he did, man. I know he did. He did, man. I'm telling you. Come on, they find the truck right by his house. You know what I'm saying? And we're starting to trip over this. You know what I mean? Like, Martha was shooting his chick. Martha was there.
So clear the bodies.
He was smart. He's good. Come on, look how long they've been missing for. He just barely reported his wife missing. His wife's been missing since like the 23rd. Since last month, you know what I mean? She's been missing the same time Matt's been missing. And after he left and everything, we'll talk to you. Kelly went in there and opened that. Everything was strapped, her IDs, some other personal stuff of hers, some clothes, and I don't know what she do with it. She wigged out. I had her with me the whole time. She was tripping. Oh. And then Danny Limos took off with it. He was there too when Danny Limos took the gun. Took the stuff.
What vehicle was
Danny walking?
walking?
Yeah, he was walking. I'm telling you, man, like he tripped me out yesterday. That's how I tied everything together yesterday when he did that. You know what I mean? Like I know he lost them 3, man. I know he did.
Josh claims that Sean arrived at the residence of a woman named Kelly DeSoto, carrying a bag he carefully hid in the ceiling of her home before leaving to speak with detectives at the police station. After Sean left, Kelly discovered the hidden bag, removed a gun from inside, and handed it off to a man named Danny Lemos, locally known as Dog, who quickly took the weapon and left on foot. When Sean returned and realized the bag was missing, he became visibly agitated, smashing his phone on the ground before storming out. These troubling claims raised immediate suspicion around everyone involved, including 2 new persons of interest, Kelly DeSoto and Daniel Lemos, both closely associated with Sean and Jennifer based on Josh's statement. Danny Lemos was nowhere to be found at the time, so Detective Turney knew he urgently needed to verify Josh's account by speaking directly with Kelly, and more importantly, find out if she was hiding anything that could help connect the dots in this increasingly tangled case. When investigators first arrived at Kelly's house, she agreed to meet them at the station for an interview, but refused their offer of a ride, saying her boss would bring her in about 30 minutes. However, when the time came, Kelly never showed up at the police station. It was a major red flag, and it made investigators even more suspicious of her. 2 hours later, Detective Turney returned to her house, suspecting that Kelly might be stalling for time or trying to cover something up.
No. Robert, Ben, the detectives.
Hi.
Ready?
She hasn't gotten here yet. So I talked to my lawyer, and he told me that I didn't have to go with you guys.
You don't have to.
What is it about? Can you tell me?
About the disappearance of
Of the
Matthew Miller and Jennifer Lana. Sean Lana.
Sean is not missing.
I know he's not.
This time, Kelly's behavior was noticeably different. She appeared distraught, reluctant to cooperate, and quick to mention her lawyer. Detective Turney felt certain that she was withholding crucial information and decided to press harder.
Was Sean here yesterday?
It's been nice.
How many times?
Nice.
What did he do?
He came inside. He told me that he had to go down and fire Jennifer missing.
Did Sean hide anything in the house that was going to take him?
Oh no.
Did he destroy his phone?
Yeah, right here. I forgot. He destroyed his phone.
He bring a bag inside that had a gun
No.
or any of Jennifer's identification cards.
I
Did he look in it?
No.
Did anyone almost take the gun later?
No.
Do you think he did something to Jennifer and Matthew?
He doesn't seem like that type of person.
I think you're lying to me about the bag and the gun and Jennifer's ID.
I don't know anything about. Like he asked me, he said, "Where's my?" Yeah, no, I didn't see him being.
Oh, you're forgetting what I already told you.
I know.
Sean has some stuff in your shed.
Yeah, he was murdered. I don't know.
Nothing yesterday?
No, I don't think so.
Have you went through it?
No.
After some more pressure, Kelly admitted she had several suspicious bags in her shed, supposedly belonging to Sean. Curious about the contents of the bags, detectives quickly followed Kelly to take a closer look.
Upstairs. I'm sure it's not. And that paint can is not his. That's his. That's his. What did you in my face?
On Jackson? Emily? She let us search that thing at the tip. And outside too.
Despite their best efforts, detectives found no clear signs of blood or evidence linking back to the missing people. It was a frustrating dead end, and the chances of finding them seemed increasingly slim. At this stage, investigators had narrowed down their focus to several individuals close to the missing trio, each with conflicting stories and questionable behavior that kept detectives on edge. But without hard evidence, options were increasingly running out. Desperate for a breakthrough, Detective Turney secured a search warrant for Sean and Jennifer's former home at 817 Kingman Avenue. Unsure exactly what or who they might encounter, officers cautiously approached the property, prepared for any potential threat. Yet again, investigators were too late. The house had already undergone extensive renovations, carpets removed, drywall stripped, any potential evidence completely erased. Unbeknownst to investigators at the time, the critical evidence they desperately needed was sitting in an abandoned truck, miles away, just waiting to be discovered. For now, though, every possible lead was exhausted, and Detective Turney knew it was time for a more direct approach. So he called Sean once more, determined to extract something, anything, that could finally lead investigators to the missing trio.
Hey, is this Sean? Yeah, it is. Hey, Sean, this is Detective Turney. How are you doing?
Good, how are you doing today?
Good, man. I've been trying to get a hold of your other number, and it's not working. So,
No, I apologize. Sorry.
so you know anything new?
No, I haven't heard anything. Nope.
Okay. Are you still around town?
I'm in Albuquerque.
No, we've made some progress here and there. I've got a bunch of pictures of different vehicles. I'd like you to take a look at, see if you could help me identify them.
Get something tomorrow. I could want to come in and help you return to the school.
Okay. All right, just make sure the kids are taken care of, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks, sir.
we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks.
Sean sounded cooperative and willing to help, promising Detective Turney he would come in for questioning. Yet, Sean never showed up. The next day, Turney even offered to personally pick Sean up and bring him to the station, but once again, Sean failed to appear. At this point, Turney felt certain Sean was deliberately stalling and knew they couldn't afford to waste any more time. He's done playing cat and mouse. With the CCTV footage and witness statements pointing directly at Sean and Danny as crucial figures, Detective Turney knew he needed to bring them in for questioning. So investigators dug deeper into both men's backgrounds, and that's when they hit the jackpot. Sean had an outstanding warrant for missing a court appearance related to a 2020 assault and battery charge. It was the break they needed. On February 25th, officers located Sean in Albuquerque and arrested him without incident, transporting him directly to the Grants Police Department for questioning. Detective Turney's goals for the interview were simple: determine exactly what Sean knew about the missing trio and find out where Danny Lemos had vanished after taking the alleged gun.
So let's go back to Matthew's truck. Okay, so it starts to back in there, and you're the last one who drove it, right? So let's go backward from when you parked it. Where did you go with it that day? Do you remember specifically?
The only places I ever traveled was one time to McDonald's. I thought that was the last day we ever used it. And I got Smith's, we got water, food, Walmart, that's it. Is there a tracker on the truck? My phone was always on, like, pull the line. I'm not going in the mountains. I have children. I don't have any bodies. Like, I was a medic in the Army. Like, I have 3 kids.
I don't think you're capable of doing something like this. I think you're very capable of defending yourself, though. An accident happens.
If it was an accident, I would be like, that's self-defense. Because self-defense is peaceful, but literally, no. Biggest fear in my house, why the pistol stayed in the house, was how to like dog. Like,
Yeah.
That guy scares. I'm not gonna lie about it.
Yeah.
So,
Who told you to park it there? Justin?
Justin was there at the house talking with, like, they're all chewing on the soup.
Who's all there?
Jennifer, Justin, and Matthew. And he gets a boatload of pills from him. And they're like, we're going to go score. I mean, they had no money, nothing.
So you take the truck and the kids.
No, they need the truck. And literally, I'm like, well, I need to go. Like, can I get the fucking groceries or something?
Okay.
And literally, I'm like, what are we doing with the truck? He's like, leave it. I'm like, yeah, leave them. We should here. Like, no. It's like, you're not going to park in front. No, I need to go to the dumpsters. I need to go to McDonald's for water. And,
And so they told you in the house, when you're done with it, to park it at the Lubbock Apartments.
Matthew wanted to park it down the street. He says, no, my buddy's over there near the apartments. Just leave it there.
As the interview continued, Sean seemed to have an answer for everything, including the CCTV footage, claiming he only moved the truck at Matthew and Justin's request. He also appeared to casually downplay the entire incident, insisting the trio's disappearances were simply part of a drug-related business venture, nothing criminal. But Detective Turney wasn't buying it. He knew Sean's explanation didn't match witness statements, and his earlier actions were too suspicious to ignore. But without solid proof, Turney couldn't directly refute Sean's story. So, to move forward, Detective Turney changed tactics. He decided to deliberately introduce Danny Lemos into the conversation, offering Sean an easy scapegoat. If Sean took the bait, Turney might finally uncover what Sean was hiding, or at least gain insight into what really happened to the missing trio.
Did he kill him?
I have no idea. I literally spent most of my time with the kids. If I had to guess who would kill him, it would be the guy saying, if I gotta dispose of bodies, I'm gonna put him in my pig. And he showed me the pig one day because I was helping him at his house.
This is Sean.
I don't have any answers for Matthew. I don't know much about him. Talk to Dog. someone's gonna move a body and put it somewhere. I guess the creepy dude that talks about pigs with everything but the eyeballs. I'm like, who would know that? Like, this dude's, whatever. I'm scared of dog.
Would you?
So, but my kids are scared of dog. I'm scared of dog. I don't know what to fucking be afraid of it. Afraid of it. But we hid in the house. We didn't go anywhere. I definitely didn't leave my kids for 5 hours. I tried to look at the other one.
Just as planned, the moment Danny Lamos's name came up, Sean seized the opportunity and implicated him, pointing to Danny's violent nature and even suggesting his ability to dispose of bodies using pigs. Beyond those accusations, however, Sean stuck to his story for the rest of the interview, denying any involvement in the disappearance. Without solid proof against him, detectives had no choice but to end their questioning. Still, Sean wasn't completely free. His outstanding warrant for failure to appear in court meant he'd spend the next 7 days in custody, and officers immediately transported him to the local jail. Investigators spent the following week interviewing acquaintances, re-examining evidence, and piecing together scattered leads. During their interview, one detail caught Detective Turney's attention: the mysterious red Ford truck that was spotted parked outside Sean's residence, later leaving with unknown contents loaded in the back. Investigators had not yet located this truck, and Turney strongly suspected it might hold something crucial to their case. For now, though, 3 people remained missing, and police narrowed their focus to 2 prime suspects: Sean Lannon, who was recorded on surveillance driving Matthew's truck and potentially connected to the missing red truck, and Danny Lamos, who allegedly received a handgun connected to Sean before disappearing himself. With each passing day, Turney grew more convinced that the missing trio had been murdered, and that their 2 prime suspects likely held the answers. But the window to find something conclusive was quickly closing, because on March 3rd, Sean completed his short jail sentence and was released back onto the streets, significantly raising the stakes. Now facing the possibility of losing another prime suspect, Detective Turney knew he had to act fast. All he needed was just one single lead, some hint of where the bodies might be hidden. On March 5th, officers received a call from the security at Albuquerque's Sunport Airport about an abandoned red Ford Ranger, eerily similar to the one from surveillance footage gathered during the investigation. What officers found inside would confirm the gruesome truth they'd been searching for.
That smells. Kind of smells like, not to like decompose or anything, you know what I mean?
Guys out here, huh?
Yeah.
We called it in 1:30, but they said they didn't want to send anybody out here.
There's a pretty foul smell coming from the vehicle.
Yeah.
Every so often, I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, I can't really tell what it was. It didn't really sound like, I can't really think it smelled like decomp body or something like that, but I don't know. But yeah, I can smell something, but I can't really tell what it was. It also smelled like dirty, big deal almost, but yeah, I don't know. But we'll check them in and all that good stuff, so.
In the back of the truck were several sealed storage bins, emitting an unmistakable smell of decay. And inside were the dismembered bodies of Jennifer Lannon, Matthew Miller, and Justin Mata. Jennifer had been shot at close range in the head. Justin had also suffered a gunshot wound to the head, along with severe blunt force injuries. And Matthew's body showed clear signs of massive head trauma, evidence he'd also been beaten to death. But the horrors didn't end there. Hidden beneath a tarp in the passenger seat was yet another body. Randall Apostolon, the truck's owner. His body showed signs of severe blunt force trauma, and a bloodied hammer found nearby was clearly the weapon used to kill him. Investigators found more disturbing evidence inside the truck. Multiple serrated knives stained with dried blood, a handsaw, and several pairs of industrial gloves, all clearly pointing to a calculated, cold-blooded murder. It was still unclear to investigators why Randall had been murdered or how his death was connected to the other three, but they wouldn't have to wait long to find out. Detectives urgently turned to the Albuquerque airport's surveillance cameras, knowing the truck hadn't driven itself there. And it didn't take long before they spotted exactly who they were looking for. On March 3, 2021, just 2 days before the gruesome discovery, the airport's cameras captured Sean Lannon driving the truck into the airport parking lot, exiting the vehicle, and leaving behind the bodies of his 4 victims. Finally, detectives found their killer. It was time to track Sean down and bring him in. On the same day the bodies were discovered, police urgently scrambled to track down Sean Lannon, but it was already too late. Sean had slipped out of Albuquerque and vanished. Immediately, the U.S. Marshals issued a nationwide alert believing Sean posed an active threat and was possibly on a violent crime spree. Authorities across multiple states joined the manhunt to track him down before anyone else was harmed. Then, on March 9th, Detective Turney received a disturbing call. U.S. Marshals informed him that Sean Lannon was now wanted in connection to another murder, this one committed just a day earlier in New Jersey. Authorities had linked Sean to the murder of Michael Debkowski through witness statements and surveillance footage that placed him directly at the scene. A quick background check also revealed the victim wasn't a random target. Debkowski was someone Sean had personally known for many years. It was an alarming detail that made it clear Sean's violent spree was far from over. Now, with 5 bodies discovered and a serial killer on the loose, police knew anyone in Sean Lannon's circle could be next, and they had to act fast. Federal authorities urgently tracked Sean's movements, closely monitoring surveillance footage and cell phone data. And finally, on the morning of March 10th, U.S. Marshals pinpointed Sean's location in St. Louis, Missouri, and they quickly moved in and captured him without incident. Sean Lannon was immediately extradited back to New Jersey, finally putting an end to his killing spree. By now, the evidence against Sean Lannon was overwhelming. Investigators had more than enough to charge him, but there were still critical questions that only Sean could answer. They still needed to understand exactly why he committed these horrific murders and determine whether he acted alone or if others helped him carry out and conceal evidence. When Detective Turney sat down face-to-face with Sean, he expected more lies and deception. But surprisingly, Sean didn't resist or deny anything. Instead, he resigned to his fate, openly admitting he was tired of running and knew his capture was inevitable. In his own words, he simply wanted it to be over. So, with nothing left to hide, Sean would give detectives exactly what they hoped for. A chilling, detailed account of the murders and the twisted reasons behind each one.
Yeah, I was already out with time. Was enough to take her life. So she wanted me to make sure she went too, for sure. Because I realized she was breathing. She wasn't going to OD. I went in the other room, psyched myself up, repeating that. An emotionally charged statement of, "You killed the Garrison baby." So I had nothing. When I ready to do it, I put that pistol on her head, and I pulled the trigger. It's quite normal. A couple seconds later, I was sitting on the bed too. I put that pistol in my mouth. I handle up. Just slipped past with teeth. My son cried out. I was like, I didn't know. Pull the trigger, kid's gonna see both of our hands went off. And we'll let so the rounds out gun, put it in the dresser. Close the bedroom door, got the kids normal. Set them up to be in the other room. We have a vehicle. And John's boyfriend drove the truck on the car around. So I pretty much was here, so to be out. To a storage bin. A long one. Sheets that were around her, the bedding was in the bag of the box. A day later, I tried to dismember her to put her in containers. It worked. It's awful and traumatic. Just thinking about it. It still haunts me. I knew I was living on borrowed time at that point, so I needed to get my kids somewhere safe to cope. So I continued with packing everything up. All the while still mating just enough that he's responsible for the drugging and doing that to my kids. So like a week, I came to the house. So I was in the laundry room, connected to the garage. So I killed him. Just before I killed him, he offered up a trade. His phone had pictures of Shawn Michael standing there naked in my living room. I don't know what his name, the William or Matthew Miller, whatever that his name is. With his, on my son's shoulders. I was like, who sent you this picture? He's like, I don't know it's real. He's like, I took the picture. I was like, well, you took that picture. He just that's the guy in the picture. So I said, there it is. He was right over the Facebook gym fighter. He wanted to know if he could do a shot for it to his life. So I said, well, if you find any in the vent, so he literally was stuffing down in the vent. He didn't see it coming. So I shot him in the back of the head. So something else fell out. He's very, very tall dude. I had the dismember at some point a day or two later. Disgusted me. That's gross. I had to work up the nerves to move his bodies. So there's so much blood. That's why I had to pull the floor up in that room. I still have room that was the flooring that was pulled up in the kid's bedroom. The landlord never fixed the water leak. The carpet got molded. It was unsafe. The carpet was outside the house, so was the padding if they slept through some other reason. Still there, but left. It took 2 hours before I had enough the ability to even near Justin.
You got Justin over there. Was this shortly after? Like how long between the time that you Jennifer, that you shoot Justin?
It was at least a week. Took a while.
Did you get him to the floor?
I was baiting as if I was Jennifer on the phone.
Yeah. So you thought you was to meet Jennifer?
Yeah. I also had pictures of Daniel Lemos and my son. I never got my hands on Daniel Lemos. I fully intended. So I was heading back to New Mexico for work yesterday. If I did, it'd be in the box. So then I had the 3 of them. Probably that kid comes over, William or Matthew, or comes over with Felicity, his girlfriend. She looked like she was like 12 years old. I should her name on the phone too. So he's like, they're looking for money for anything. I'm like, I give you a food card. I really just take like $40. It's like, all I need is later in the week, give me a ride to get some water. I'm in less than I want. So one of those times he came back, he didn't have Felicity. And that's when I shot him in the back of the head. And I had one of his vehicles in Albuquerque. So when he brought me the box that put him in the back. I couldn't pull with enough money to get the vehicle, so he was gonna take the truck back, so I found somewhere else for the boxes of bays, storage containers. I was gonna hold them for $150. He wanted another $300 once we got to his place. Randy wanted another $300 to hold the boxes. So I didn't have $300. So he said, well, I'm gonna drop you back off. So we left me, came back to the Pearl. The box was still in the back. Pulled in right there. We got in the fight. I killed him in the front seat. He was in the driver's seat.
Throughout his confession, Shawn remained eerily composed, showing almost no emotions. Even more chilling is the fact that just hours after dismembering the bodies and brutally killing Randall, Sean was picked up by police on an unrelated warrant and sat across from Detective Turney, coldly denying any involvement, while a truck full of bodies was parked just a few blocks away.
So Tuesday, I took the grabbed the truck. What to do with it? Know anybody? What do you do with the body? So I was trying to. I knew at some point it's going to get caught. I just want my kids back home. I took them to the airport the day before. And I positioned them. Just everything was the same. Secured the vehicle. That's not obvious. And then I took I believe it was an Uber. Took it home. Right to the Pearl. The next day we flew out. I'm waiting on time. Again. At some point they'd find the bodies at the airport in the box. And last thing on my list was the man that was me as a child, my big brother. Big brother's big sisters or whatever. They got pictures too. Wanted the pictures back. He didn't want to give me the pictures, so I started beating him. Then he gave me the pictures. I took his life. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of it. It's just a time I'll make it back to finish 10 Lamos.
The last victim in Sean's killing spree was his former mentor, Michael Debkowski, a man Sean accused of abusing him during childhood and believed still had photographs of that abuse. When Debkowski refused to hand over those photographs, Sean killed him without hesitation. But just as detectives thought they heard everything from Sean, he would make one final, shocking statement. There were even more bodies waiting to be found.
And so the other 11, you said started about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago? And you disarmed them from guns, and you said knives? Knives. Yeah. At some point, I had like almost like a pickaxe, maybe because I'm off a pick. So I'm like a pickaxe done. Was like if you had to think back, how many out of the 11 were shot and how many were stabbed? Like if you can elaborate on any of that. 2 were shot. 2. And then how many were stabbed? What's the rest of them about? The rest of them. So 9.
According to Sean, he'd killed at least 11 additional people, mostly drug dealers tied to Jennifer, and hidden their bodies in remote areas of Malpais National Park. Detectives approached these claims cautiously, knowing Sean was a skilled manipulator who mixed truths with calculated lies. Perhaps this was his last attempt to influence the outcome of his trial later on. But despite extensive searches, no additional bodies were ever discovered, and Sean's claims remained unverified. Detectives also investigated one of the key persons of interest directly implicated by Sean himself, Danny Lemos. He was located in Albuquerque and arrested by U.S. Marshals on March 25, 2021. Danny agreed to speak with Detective Turney, firmly denying any involvement and expressing shock that Sean was even capable of these horrific crimes. He admitted taking the handgun Sean had hidden at Kelly's house, but claimed he had no idea it was tied to a murder and had quickly sold it afterwards. After exhaustive interviews and reviewing all available evidence, detectives eventually cleared Danny, along with all other potential suspects, ultimately concluding Sean acted entirely alone. In October 2022, Sean pleaded guilty to the first-degree murder of Michael Debkowski in New Jersey. He was sentenced to 35 years in prison, and in May 2024, he pleaded guilty to killing Jennifer Lannon, Justin Mata, Matthew Miller, and Randall Apostolone, receiving 4 consecutive 15-year sentences. As part of his plea agreement, Sean will serve his sentence in New Jersey first, then return to New Mexico to serve an additional 60 years behind bars.